Okay, children, now let us compare these flowers. Okay, so if I showed you some of the flowers, the petals, the arrangement of the petals, they are free. In some flowers, the petals are free. Again, you observe in some flowers, the petals are united. Okay, they are joined. And in this flower, you can observe, even though the petals are united, you can find the sepals are free. Okay. It is not compulsory that if the petals are united, the sepals also should be united. Okay, the sepals are here in this particular flower, the petals are united or joined together, whereas its sepals, you can observe, they all are free. Okay, they all are free. And just see this rose flower. In rose flower, you can find all these sepals are free. Sorry, the petals all are free. Okay, you can take it one by one outside. Okay, it is sepals, each petal is free only, free petals. And you see here the sepals are also free here. In this flower you saw, petunia flower you saw, the petals are united, whereas sepals are free. Whereas in this rose flower you see, all the petals are free, whereas at the same time the sepals are also free. Okay, and if you see the number of petals in hibiscus flower, we saw that the hibiscus flower, the number of petals, now I counted, it is only 5. Okay, number of petals are 5. And you can observe in hibiscus flower, all these sepals are combined together. Okay, and they are forming a tube. In hibiscus flower, the petals are free, whereas the sepals are combined together. Okay, they are combined together to form a cup-like structure. And if you see the stamen, in this flower you saw the stamens, and if you count the number of stamens, it is different from one flower to another flower. Okay, the number of stamen also will not be same in all flowers. Some plants, in some flowers, the number of stamen will be 5. Sometimes number of stamen will be 9. Or sometimes it will be 4. So like that, the number of stamens varies from one flower to another flower. At the same time, the nature of the petals, they are also vary from one flower to another flower. And in one flower, if it is free, in another flower, the petals will be united. And the sepal also, sometimes the sepals will be free in one flower, and in another flower you will find the sepals will be united. Okay, and the number of pistil also. Some flower you will find only one pistil. Pistil means what? Female reproductive structure. But in some other plants, you will be able to find out many pistils. Instead of one pistil, you will be able to find out many pistils. Okay, so if you compare all these flowers, the flower petals, the arrangement of the flower petals or arrangement of the flower sepals, arrangement of the stamen, arrangement of the pistil, these all are varying from one flower to another flower. Okay, the arrangement itself is varying from one flower to another flower. At the same time, the number of petals, now you can see in this dahlia, the number of petals are more. I think it is around 100 petals are available in this. Okay, whereas in hibiscus flower you saw only 5 petals were there. And in this flower you can observe here also 5 petals are there. So the number of petals and the number of stamens and number of pistil and number of sepal may vary from one flower to another flower. Okay, I told you some of the flowers, they are having both the reproductive structure. They are called bisexual flower, whereas in some flowers you will observe only one reproductive structure. They are known as unisexual flowers. Okay, whatever it may be, almost all the flowers, they will have all these essential parts like sepals, petals, stamens and pistil. If all these 4 are there, we can say it's an example for a complete flower. Okay, that has all the important parts of the flower. Okay, children, we have learned that the plants absorb water and minerals from the soil. Okay, so what are they doing with these particular materials? What are they doing with this water and minerals? they are doing a process that is called photosynthesis. Okay, they are doing photosynthesis. As a result, they are preparing food materials in their leaves. So we can say kitchen, the leaf is also known as the kitchen room of a plant, we can say. Leaf is known as the kitchen room of a plant. Why? Because they prepare their food on their leaves. Okay, so what will happen to this food after preparation? Are they storing this food only in the leaf? No. It is only site for preparation of food. Okay, leaves are only the site for preparation of food, whereas all other parts of the plant body are required the prepared food materials. Okay, so in your home also you can see the food material will be cooked in your kitchen room. Then it will be supplied to everyone, every members of the family on the dining room only. Okay, and dining room, after preparation that will be taken to the dining hall. There all of you will sit together, or you will take the food together separately to your own room, and you may have it. Okay, what the preparation is happening in the kitchen room, and will be supplied to each and every members of the family. Okay, just like that in plants also you can see the preparation of food happens on their leaves, but it should be transported to all part of the plant body, and this transport happens through the stem. Okay, preparation of food happens on the leaf, and it will be transported to all other part of the plant body by means of the stem. So stem carries these prepared food to the root, to the flowers, to the buds, and to the all part of the plant body. Suppose you can see here is a picture. This is a picture of a plant. The preparation of food happens on their leaves. Afterwards, the prepared food will travel through this stalk. Again, it will go up and down. Okay, it will go up to the tip of this bud, flower tip, shoot tip, up to each and every portion. The food will be supplied, or it will be conducted by means of stem. Okay, at the same time, the root system is there already. I told you, root system absorbs water and minerals, and it will be transported to the leaf for preparation of food. So in this plant, this stem will act as a two-way traffic. Okay, a street which is having two-way traffic, just like that the stem of this plant also will act. What are the two-way? One is they are transporting water. Okay, they are transporting water from the soil to all part of the plant body, especially towards upper part the water moves. It is taken from the roots. It is taken from the soil by means of roots, and that water is transferred by means of stem. So water transport towards the upper part, whereas the prepared food from the leaf will be transported towards the lower part also. So we can say stem acts as a two-way traffic. One is they are transporting water towards the upper part. At the same time, they will transport the food material towards the root also. So one side the water, other side the prepared food. Both are traveling through the same way, same stem. The conduction happens through the stem. One way water is going, other way food materials are coming down. Okay. So the green plants prepare food material with the help of sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll, etc. Already you know that. That process is known as photosynthesis. Then what will happen to this prepared food? Plants are preparing food, that everyone knows. Then what will happen to this prepared food? That will be shared with the other part of the plant body. Okay, it will be used by themselves. Some amount of food materials are used by the plants, and that all energy, all the prepared food is not required by the plant. Then what they will do? They will store this food in different part of their plant body. Okay, sometimes they will store the food material on their stem. Do you remember a plant which stores their food in their stem? Sugarcane. Okay, sugarcane is an example for a plant. They are storing the prepared food on their stem. And some of the plants, they will store the prepared nutrients or carbohydrate on their leaves. Can I give example? Cabbage is an example. Okay, cabbage, the prepared food materials are stored on their leaves. And any flower, storing food materials? Yes, cauliflower is an example for a plant part where the prepared food materials are stored in their flowers. That's why we are using that flower for making curry. Okay, for preparing our dishes, we are using cauliflower. So, plants are preparing food material on their leaves, and some amount, whatever they require, they will use it, and the remaining amount will be stored in different part of the plant body. Okay, some of the food materials are stored in the form of seeds. For example, coffee, wheat, rice, etc. You can find the food materials are stored in their seeds, and some of them are storing in their fruit, in the form of fruit. For example, apple, mango, tomato, etc. You can observe they are storing the food materials in their fruit, and whereas some other plants are storing the prepared carbohydrates on their roots also. Can you give an example for a root vegetable which we are using? Carrot. Okay, carrot is a root vegetable. Why we are calling it as a root vegetable? Because after preparing the food material, they will store the prepared carbohydrate in their root. So, that root part we are eating. And in some plants like potato, they are storing the prepared starch or prepared food material in their underground stem. Actually, the part which we are using for cooking, that is underground stem. Potato is an example for an underground stem. They are growing inside the soil, but it is not root. They are underground stem where the food materials are stored. Okay, now we have discussed about many parts where the plants are storing their food materials. One is some plants, they will store the food material on their leaves like cabbage, spinach, etc. Some plants store their food material on their flowers, cauliflower, broccoli, etc. And some plants store their food materials on their stem. Example, sugarcane is an example. Okay, some plants store their food material on their seeds, coffee seed, cocoa seeds, okay, coconut, all these are the seeds. And some plants, they are storing their food material in their fruit, in the form of fruit, like pineapple, mango, orange. Okay, all these are example for fruits which we are using for our energy purpose. So, different plants are storing food materials in different part of their body. And we human beings, we are very clever, and we will make use of this stored food material for our survival. Not only us, all the heterotrophic animals, like animals, human beings, birds, all are heterotrophs. We can't prepare our own food. So we are called as heterotrophs. Whereas green plants, they can synthesize their own food. So they are known as autotrophs. So we are heterotrophs. We are unable to prepare food. So we are depending on the food prepared by green plants. Okay, food prepared by autotrophs. Okay, now let us discuss the summary of the lesson. So, what all things we have studied in this chapter, just we will have a review. Okay, in the first part we have studied about the structure of plants. Structure of a plant, the picture is given there, and the picture is also given to you through lecture note, it is given. And you have to go through that labeled picture thoroughly and understand what are the important parts of a flower. And we observe there are many parts for the many parts of the plant. They are roots, stem, leaves, flowers, branches, fruits, etc. There are so many we have studied in that picture. And so, four main parts we have discussed in detail also. One is regarding their stem, next their root, again their stamen and pistil. These things we have discussed. Again, we have discussed about photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Preparation of food by green plants with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll by using water and carbon dioxide. That process is known as photosynthesis. Again, we have discussed different types of plants like herbs, shrubs, trees, creepers and climbers. Some of the plants which are having weak stem. So here there is a plant, this petunia plant's stem Even if I try to hold it like this, it will come down because they are very weak plants. They have weak stem, so that they are not able to stand erect. They will creep on the ground, okay, or otherwise they will take the support of the neighboring plants and they will climb on other plants. That also we have discussed. Okay, pumpkin is an example for a plant which it's an example for a cucumber, pumpkin, etc. They are creepers. They will crawl or creep through the ground. Okay, and they are not having that. They are not able to stand properly. That's the reason. Again, we have discussed about venation. So, what is by venation? The arrangement of veins on the leaf. That is known as venation, or the design made by the veins on the leaf. That is known as venation. And based on the arrangement of the veins, there are two types of venation. One is reticulate venation, another one is parallel venation. Okay, reticulate venation we observed in dicot plants, whereas parallel venation we observed in monocot plants. Then what is dicot plant? If a plant which is having seed with two cotyledon, then it is known as dicot seed, or that plant is known as dicot plant. And if any plant with only one cotyledon in the seed, they are known as monocot plant. For example, maize, coconut, arecanut, all are example for monocot plant. And again we discuss there are some similarities for dicot plants and monocot plants. In dicot plants, they have taproot system, at the same time they have reticulate venation. Whereas in monocot plants, they have fibrous root system and parallel venation. Monocot plants, parallel venation and fibrous roots, and their seed consists of only one cotyledon. Whereas in dicot plants, they have taproot system, they have reticulate venation, and their seeds will have two cotyledons. What is actually cotyledon? Cotyledon are the structures where the food materials are stored. Again, we have discussed about flowers. And flowers, some flowers are single flowers, some flowers are in group like marigold. You saw that. Again, some of the flowers, the petals are fused or united together, whereas in some flowers, the petals are free. Again, you saw in some flowers, the sepals are united. In some flowers, sepals are joined together. Some flowers, the sepals are free. That also you saw. Again, we have discussed about the stamen, that is the male reproductive structure. That is the third layer in a flower, male reproductive structure, that is called stamen. And stamen consists of two parts. They are anther and filament. Anther is the structure in which the pollen grains are produced. Okay, what are pollen grains? Pollen grains are the male reproductive structure which is present inside the anther, and the anther is present in the stamen. So, stamen consists of two parts. They are anther and filament. Then the fourth layer, that is the innermost layer of a flower, that is pistil. Pistil consists of three parts. The uppermost part is known as stigma, and the next tubular portion is known as style, and the down, that swollen and enlarged portion, that is known as ovary. And within the ovary, if you cut the ovary in a longitudinal section or a cross section by using a blade, you can observe in the last page of your textbook, that means in this chapter last page, that is page number 62, you can observe there is a sectional view of ovary is given, and in that sectional view of the ovary, you can observe there are fine bead-like structures are there, and these bead-like structures are known as ovules. What are they? Ovules. And if you want to see it directly, just take a tomato and cut it by using a knife, and inside you can find small seeds are there. Actually, those seeds are ovules. After fertilization only, that ovules develop into the seed. Then what will happen to the ovary? Ovary will grow and develop into fruit. Okay. So, these are the this is a summary of the lesson. Now, let us see what are the important words. What are the new words from this chapter? Just I will dictate it once. Then with that we will wind up the class. The first word, that is climbers. Okay, in your textbook page number 63 it is given. The first word, that is climber. Spelling of climber is CLIMBER, climber, climbers. And the next word is conduct. Conduct means to pass. Water is conducted by stem from the root to other part of the body, and the stem also conducts food material from leaf to root and all other parts of the body. So conduct means to pass through. Okay, conduct spelling CONDUCT. Okay, conduct. The next one is creepers. Creepers, just now I showed you a plant which is creeping on the ground because they are not having a proper stem. They will be creeping over the ground, and they are known as creepers. Pumpkin, cucumber, etc. are example for creepers. Spelling of creeper is CREEPERS, creeper. Creeper. The next word is herb. Next word is herb. HERB, herb. The spelling of herb is HERB. The next one is lamina. What is lamina? Is there any connection with amina? No. That is lamina. Lamina is nothing but it is the leaf blade. Okay, it is a leaf blade. The surface area of the leaf is known as lamina. It is sorry. It is also known as leaf blade. Okay, lamina is also known as leaf blade. Lamina spelling LAMINA, lamina. And the next one is lateral roots. Lateral roots, I told you, from the main root of taproot system, some branches are arising, and those branches are known as lateral roots. The spelling of lateral root is LATRAL, lateral roots, ROOTS, lateral roots. The next word is midrib. What is my midrib? Do you remember what is midrib? The center of this leaf you can find there is a major vein is passing through, and this major vein which passes through the center of the leaf, because it is passing through the middle portion, it is known as midrib, and the spelling is MIDRIB, midrib, in the middle, so it is mid. So midrib, it is called as midrib. The next one is ovule. As I told you earlier, inside the ovary, you will be able to find out fine seed-like structures are there, and those small bead-like structures, bead, okay, bead-like structures, they are known as ovules. The spelling of ovule is OVULE, ovule. What is that word? Ovule. The next word is parallel venation. Parallel venation, I have already showed you. The veins are arranged parallelly. If all the veins are arranged in a parallel manner, then it is known as parallel. One above the other, like that is arranged. And that venation means, what is the arrangement of veins? That is called parallel venation. What is spelling of venation? VNATION, venation, parallel venation. And the next one is petal. What is petal? In a flower, the attractive part of the flower is known as petal. What is spelling of petal? PETAL. Can you see the petals? There are different types of petals are available in our surrounding. It's rose petals. The next one is petiole. Petiole means what? It is nothing but the flower is connected to the stem with the help of a stalk-like structure. Okay, and this stalk-like structure is known as petiole. What is spelling of petiole? PETIOLE, petiole. What is it? Petiole. What is the function of petiole? Petiole connects the flower to the stem. It is called petiole. Then now, photosynthesis. The next word is photosynthesis. What is spelling of photosynthesis? PHOTOSYNTHESIS, photosynthesis. Okay, PHOTOSYNTHESIS, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis means, you know, it is a process of preparation of food material in green plants. Then pistil. Pistil also we have discussed just before. The reproductive structure, the female reproductive structure of a flower is known as pistil. And the spelling is PISTIL, pistil. And it consists of how many parts? 3 parts are there. Okay. The next one is called reticulate venation. Next word is reticulate venation. Reticulate venation I showed you already. The leaves are having veins which are arranged in a reticulate manner, in a network-like manner. Such a reticulate pattern of vein is known as reticulate venation. What is that? Reticulate venation. Spelling of reticulate: R-E-T-I-C-U-L-A-T-E. Reticulate venation. V-E-N-A-T-I-O-N. Venation. The next word is sepal. What is spelling of sepal? S-C-P-A-L. That is sepal. What are sepals? Now I showed you here. You can observe this green colored structure under the flower. This green colored part is known as sepals. Okay. And the next word is stamen. Stamen also I have showed you. And if you want to see directly, just take a flower from your surroundings, and first layer is sepal, second layer is petal, and the third layer of the flower you just observe, they are the stamens, and the stamen will be different from one flower to another flower. Okay, some plants you will observe the stamens are bundled together, whereas in datura and all you can observe half of the stamen is attached to the petals, and the edge region it is separated also, you can observe. There are different types of stamens are available in different types of flowers which are available in your surrounding. Being a science student, you have to observe this surrounding and find out all this directly. Okay. Next word is taproot. Taproot means what? Taproot means main root. Okay. What is spelling of taproot? T-A-P-R-O-O-T. Taproot. And this taproot, from the taproot you can observe always there will be lateral roots are also available. Which plants you will observe taproot system? In dicot plants you will observe taproot system. The next you will see transpiration. The next word is transpiration. The spelling of transpiration is T-R-A-N-S-P-I-R-A-T-I-O-N. Transpiration. Okay. T-R-A-N-S trans P-I-R-A-T-I-O-N. Transpiration. Transpiration means what? It's the process of loss of water from leaf through their stomata. Okay, on the leaves, especially on the underside of the leaf, there are number of fine holes are there, and that holes already you know, we studied in last year also we studied that. They are known as stomata. Through the stomata, the excess water from the plant body will be released outside in the form of water vapor. And this process is known as transpiration. The spelling of transpiration is T-R-A-N-S-P-I-R-A-T-I-O-N. Okay children, we have discussed and covered many portions, many points in this lesson. Now, this is the time to wind up our class. So, before that, you need to practice all these spellings by writing. Okay, minimum 5 to 10 times you have to write and study these spellings. At the same time, the diagrams which are given in your textbook, especially structure of stamen, structure of pistil, parts of a flower, all these diagrams are given in your textbook. That also you have to draw and practice. Then the notes will be given to you along with this lecture. At the same time, you have to write it in a proper manner, as well as you have to study it also. Okay, till the next time we meet. Thank you.